Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video on selling and mastering what I call, guys, right brain selling, right? And how to get people to move emotionally. Because what I can tell you about almost all sales training, and guys, I've taken so many sales courses, so many sales trainings. And what I can tell you about sales, guys, is that in order to sell more, in order to make more income, you must sell to the right side of the brain that actually activates all the prospects' buying triggers, right? So every human has buying triggers subconsciously that go off, that cause them to take action. And so in this short video, guys, I'm going to give you a selling system, right? Using imagery and metaphor to close way more deals. But really quickly, guys, just if you don't know who I am, my name is Richard Mujica. I have a sales agency called onecallclosers.com. And in about 3 years, guys, we've done over $40 million online, selling high ticket products and offerings, anywhere from $1,000 to $100,000. We do it all over the phone. And the reason why I make these videos, guys, is A, to make you just be a better closer, right? Introduce you to the high ticket sales space, because I honestly believe that over the next 10 years, there's not going to be a better opportunity to make an income online and have as much freedom as in high ticket sales. So that's, why I do these videos, guys. So anyways, one thing that I want you to understand when it comes to influence and persuasion, humans do not like to think, right? And Henry Ford had a quote. And his quote was, "Thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably why so few engage in it." And so what I want you to understand, guys, is that the more that you make a prospect think on the phone, the less you are going to sell. Because thinking is activated by the left side of the brain, right? And the left side of the brain, guys, if you haven't studied my work already, is only accounted for 5% of the human processing power, right? 95% of humans' processing power and how they make decisions is going to come down to the right side of the brain. The left side of the brain is where people analytically think. And the more that you engage the analytical mind in a sales conversation, the less you're going to sell. So think of it like this, guys, right? The more facts and statistics you give on the phone, a prospect's going to tune out, right? The more features and benefits that you're trying to sell, right? Almost all sales training, guys, is going to be features and benefits, right? Like, oh man, you got to sell the prospect on the features. You got to tell them what you're going to get, what's included. And to be honest with you guys, that way of selling is completely dead and it doesn't work nowadays, right? And then the third thing, guys, is selling modules and information and more steps and stuff. Because here's the thing, right, guys? There's a lot of information that is being sold online right now, but people are more confused than ever. And why is that? With so much information, why are so many people confused? It's because people don't know how to take information and have it make sense, right? But a good closer knows how to do this. So one thing I want you to start thinking about is like the iPhone, right? And you might not be aware of this, guys, but brain science, right, is being used on you every single day with the big companies, right? Do you know that the iPhone was constructed in a way that is meant for you to, like, when you pick it up and when you hold it, it activates emotional triggers inside your brain that want you to pick up the phone, right? And if you notice, like the iPhone, it doesn't come with an instruction manual. The reason why, guys, is because what Apple has figured out is they designed the phone in a way that the brain works, right? It's very image driven. It's very basic. It's very simple. Humans like simplicity, right? They're drawn to simple things because when things start getting complex, guys, guess what happens? The primal brain, the oldest brain that we have, it goes on alert, right? When things get complex, we start looking for survival. And when we start looking for survival, guys, guess what happens? We get fear and anxiety that goes about us, and it puts us in a bad emotional state, which is why iPhone, guys, is right brain friendly, right? The iPhone is constructed in a way that it taps into unconscious human behavior or subconscious human behavior and allows you to use it in a way that's not going to get analytical on you, right? And so going forward, guys, what I really want you to take from this training is that all the information that you're giving in a sales pitch, right, in a sales environment, what you need to do with that information is you need to be able to let the prospect see it and turn words into imagery, right? So think metaphors, because words and information is left brain. It's analytical. It's what humans start dozing off to, right? And they can't pay attention. And they're like, who cares? You're trying to give them all this information. And they're like, dude, my brain doesn't know what to do with this information. So what happens is the prospect gets confused and the prospect gets overwhelmed. And they're like, dude, what in the world do I do next? That's why what you want to do is you want to turn that information into metaphors. So think weight loss, right? Instead of selling workouts and nutrition and all the stuff that doesn't sell, take that information and turn it into a story or a metaphor to engage the imagination, to turn it into a picture, because a picture a human can grasp. So for example, if I'm selling weight loss, I'm going to give the prospect a metaphor of like, Susie, imagine when you go to watch your favorite show, Susie. Like, is it hard for you to go and watch your favorite show? And Susie's gonna be like, well, no, it's not hard. Well, imagine if we could do that with your weight loss journey. Imagine if it wasn't hard to eat the right things. If you actually looked forward to working out and eating the right things, just like your favorite TV show. Wouldn't it be easier to get results? And of course, they're like, well, yeah, that would be easier, right? That's a metaphor for weight loss. Or think about one-on-one coaching, right? A metaphor for one-on-one coaching that we always use within our organization is like, dude, imagine, John, right? Right now, you're trying to build an online business. And essentially what you're trying to do, John, is you're trying to take a 1,000-piece puzzle and you're trying to put it together, one piece at a time, right? But imagine, John, if you had a coach that has already built the 1,000-piece puzzle, they already know where all the pieces go, and they can help you line up those 1,000 pieces in a matter of like an hour, instead of you having to spend weeks upon weeks lining up those pieces because you've never done it before. Well, that's exactly what our one-on-one coaching is designed to do, John, to set up that 1,000-piece puzzle as fast as possible, because we've been there and done that before, right? So that's a way to use a metaphor, imagery. Think passive income, right, guys? Think, how do people get passive income? Well, people get passive income through having something working for them while they're not working. That's the only way you're going to have passive income, is you need something to work for you while you're not working, right? That's just a logical next step. So what we always try to sell is the machine, right? Hey, John, imagine if, you had a machine working for you 24/7 while you were sleeping. And so essentially what we're doing inside our program, John, is we're helping you set up the machine. So that way, as you build the machine, that's the most upfront work you're going to do. But once it's built, you just flip the switch. And guess what? It works for you while you're sleeping, while you're spending time with your girlfriend in Thailand, while you're with your wife and kids, while you're doing whatever that is producing income for you. And that's the main purpose of our course, right? And so guys, the point of this is just to show you the importance of stop engaging humans with rational thinking, with left brain selling, with features and benefits. You need to start exciting and engaging the imagination through metaphor. And so this is why and when you're gonna use metaphors. Okay, metaphors, is they're gonna simplify complex things, right? So building an online business is relatively complex to the left part of the brain, right? But you can use a metaphor to simplify that over the phone, right? Another reason why you're going to want to use a metaphor is to make a point, right? So for example, if I'm selling coaching and I'm like, John, one of the reasons why you might consider coaching, John, is because imagine you're trying to become a pilot, right? And so you go and you buy a $2,000 course on how to fly a plane. Well, that's great. You might go through the modules, get some great information. But when you get inside the plane, John, do you think you're going to know exactly how to fly the plane? Probably not, right? It's going to be like, whoa, this is totally different. Well, that's why we have our coaching. Because what we're going to do, John, is we're actually going to get you inside of the plane now. We're going to get you inside the cockpit. So that way you can sit next to the pilot, touch the knobs, touch the steering wheel, start flying it with somebody next to you that's already been there, done that. And guess what, John? You're going to learn how to fly that plane that much faster. Do you think that's going to help you, right? And so that's what you're going to do. You're going to use metaphors to make a point. You're also going to use metaphors to turn an idea or concept into a visual representation. So what happens, guys, is if you think about instruction manuals, right? Don't you hate it when instruction manuals are just a bunch of words on a piece of paper, right? Don't you wish sometimes you're like, dude, couldn't they just take this instruction manual and turn it into a picture that I can just follow simply? Well, it's no different than when you're selling. See, when you use a lot of words in selling, what happens is it's intimidating to the prospect. The prospect's brain tunes out and none of the buying triggers are signaled. So by using metaphors, you turn the words into visual representation, which simplifies the selling process and gets the prospect excited to take action. And then you're also going to want to use metaphors, guys, to get the customer to see what you are saying, right? Again, it's about bringing words to life. So one thing I want you to do right now is to look at this infographic, guys, right? And so what it says at the top, it says people get metaphors, right? And it says our brains are wired for images. Metaphors are images and words. Metaphors paint pictures in a listener's mind, right? And think about that for a second, right? You're painting a picture in the mind of the prospect. And the more vivid that picture is, the more it excites and engages the imagination, which is the right brain, which leads to the sale more often, right? So like, for example, you can see it right there. My husband is my knight in shining armor. Of course, when somebody says that, they think of a knight in shining armor. It makes that simplified, right? And then number 2, guys, it says metaphors carry emotional associations that resonate instantly with listeners, right? So another way you can think about this is information and data tell, metaphors sell. So let's go with one example to another example, right? Oh, you can get hurt driving fast on icy roads. That's a fact. That's information. But what if we took that, like you can get hurt driving fast on icy roads, to driving fast on icy roads is playing Russian roulette with your life, right? Now I've taken some information, turned it into an analogy metaphor that sparks my imagination, and it packs way more of a punch when it comes to why shouldn't you drive fast on icy roads, right? So another thing, guys, right? A problem, right? People are drowning in information nowadays. People fear making changes, right? We have shorter and shorter attention spans. And so what you need to be able to do is you need to be able to stand out amongst your competitors. Right now, selling, guys, is changing, right? And the more that you're able to stay up with this right brain selling methodology that I think is the way to sell, is you're going to be able to differentiate yourself between all the other products and all the other sales reps in the space, right? Because every other sales rep, guys, is selling information. They think they're selling the course, a product, this, or that. What you're selling, guys, is you're selling status. What you're selling is emotional states over the phone. And you need a way to differentiate yourself between everybody else in the marketplace. And the great way to do that in the sales conversation is by using metaphors to spark imagination within your prospect, which nobody is doing on the phone at a very high level. And that's where the opportunity comes in, right? Less information over the phone, more metaphoric language, and more metaphoric language is going to lead to more sales. You're going to be able to change way more people's lives using metaphor language than just information on its own. Okay, so guys, here's just a quick video. I hope this helps you, like, as you start thinking out how you're talking to the prospects, how you're like communicating in real life, because this is all influence and persuasion. Your goal is to right brain sell, is to activate the brain that actually buys, which is all subconscious within a prospect. And in fact, research shows, guys, that most people think making a decision is analytical, but the research shows that making a decision happens subconsciously before you ever analytically say yes. So that means before you actually say, yes, I want to buy that car, yes, I want to get that piece of jewelry, subconsciously your mind was already made up. And then you just follow that pattern in your head. It's no different in the sales conversation, guys. Okay, so I hope this information helps, guys. Again, my name is Richard Michka from onecallclosers.com. And if you're not yet in the high ticket sales space, guys, send me an email or apply down below to potentially work with our company. We're always looking for great salespeople. And honestly, what I believe, guys, is that high ticket sales is the next business model in the online space. What I love about this space, guys, is that, beyond drop shipping and affiliate marketing and XYZ business models, they all are just up and down, right? Facebook, they're relying on Facebook, they're relying on products, they're relying on the new offer, right? All that stuff. High ticket sales, guys, is like literally the ultimate freedom lifestyle. You can get rid of your 9 to 5 almost overnight, like almost all the employees, or not employees, but all the closers that work with us. And you can do it with no upfront capital, meaning like no money out of pocket. And you can start having a freedom lifestyle with high ticket sales. That's why it fires me up, gets me excited. And stay tuned for the next video, because in the next video, guys, I'm going to go over right here, as you can see, the perfect sales pitch in high ticket selling. And that's going to be the next video that's going to tie into this metaphor language and help you sell a lot more deals. I'm out.